Hey, what's up guys? Alan here. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on This, where I speak on my thoughts. And to celebrate the opening of Wicked for Good, I'll be giving my thoughts on Wicked, directed by John M. Chu, who you might know as the director for two of the Step Up films, Crazy Rich Asians and In the Heights. Based on a long-time running Broadway musical, the Gregory Maguire novel, and The Wizard of Oz, Wicked tells the untold story of the Witches of Oz, Elphaba and Glinda. It explores the friendship between the two witches and how Elphaba earned the moniker the Wicked Witch of the West. The film is an adaptation of the first act of the musical, while its sequel For Good adapts the second. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande star as the two leads and are joined by Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, Marissa Bode, Peter Dinklage, Bowen Yang, Jeff Goldblum, and Michelle Yeoh. The film went on to gross $750 million at the box office worldwide, making it the highest grossing film adaptation of a Broadway musical. It scored a total of 10 nominations at the Oscars, including Best Picture. It took home Best Production Design and Best Costume Design. The film was released on November 22nd of last year, and its sequel For Good was released on November 21st of this year. Now, what did I think about this film? I'm a newer Wicked fan, not super mega obsessed like a longtime fan, but I do love the stage show. I saw it twice, once on Broadway and in Toronto. I listened to the soundtrack a few times, plus I've seen Wizard of Oz, so I already knew the story quite a bit, and I've seen Wicked like several times, and the first time I watched it, I was blown away. It was astonishing, marvelous. I can go on and on. It kept everything that was great about the Broadway musical, and it was translated perfectly to the screen. Truly a masterpiece. The newer scenes added more to the story and character development, specifically for Elphaba. It gave her more background on her upbringing and make audiences understand her motives of advocating for animals. Even though it was an adaptation of Act 1, it did feel like a complete story where we saw a bit of closure for certain arcs, like Elphaba and Glinda's friendship and Elphaba's own arc. Despite it only being half the story, the film made it feel like it was one whole. Both leading actors did not just deliver with their incredible performance, they exceeded my expectations. Individually, they were exceptional, but together, it was a whole other level. Like, those two had great chemistry. Their performances, both vocally and emotional, were breathtaking. Like I'm watching a Broadway production come to life on the big screen. And the fact that they sang live while filming and doing all those crazy stunts were impressive. Cynthia Erivo was phenomenal as the leading Green Witch. From the look, the vocals, and the emotions, she managed to maintain the spirit of the character while also making it her own and adding more depth. Her version of Defying Gravity was as enchanting and mesmerizing as the stage version. Plus, the way it was shot and edited made it well adapted to the screen. While she slightly does put a spin on it, it still hits all the right notes. The added sections from the unlimited portion and the orchestrations after the high note made it more cinematic. It made this already epic Act 1 finale number even better. I was initially skeptical about Ariana Grande's casting as Glinda, then I heard a bit of popular and thought, she sounded good, and that made me more intrigued. After watching the film, I was surprised. Like, I did not expect that performance from her. She really blew me out of the water. She embodied Glinda from those high notes and comedic performance. Her portrayal was faithful to the Broadway variations. She showed a different side of herself and reminded everyone how good of an actress she was, which I think a lot of people kind of forgot or just had no idea unless you followed her career since Nickelodeon. She was funny, eccentric, perky, and energetic all at once. Her take on popular was playful and fun as the Broadway version. It showed how much care and commitment she had to this role. She truly was made to play Glinda. Michelle Yeoh was both graceful and slightly vicious in this film. Her performance gave me chills and had me captivated all throughout. Plus, seeing her with the likes of Cynthia and Ariana was a sight to see. Like 3 powerhouses in one place. And her singing voice is surprisingly good, including Peter Dinklage, who did a great job voicing Dr. Dillamond. Jonathan Bailey had both the charm and charisma as the leading man. Not only was he musically talented, he was able to tap into the character's free spirit and sentimental side, providing more substance than just his pretty face. Ethan Slater and Marissa Bode made for a semi-sweet on-screen duo, even though they're not actually official. Individually, Slater was adorable as the socially awkward munchkin, while Bode was innocent as Elphaba's optimistic sister. Bowen Yang and Brown and James added some comedic relief with the little screen time they had. They made the most out of it by stealing the show every time they were on screen. Jeff Goldblum was fine as the wizard. I feel like his take on the character was less eccentric compared to the stage musical. He did his job. It was okay, but I feel like it could have been better. The production quality and value that went into this film was unreal. It's like a classic Hollywood film, in the sense that it's mostly physical sets, and it makes the whole environment feel immersive. Like I'm in this fantastical world that expands the Land of Oz beyond the 1939 film. The cinematography added to that production value. It complemented the setting and the musical numbers. My favorite shot was the opening sequence where it was one shot and we get a bird's eye view of Oz. Immediately, it got me hooked to the story. It was all visually stunning, and it pushed the boundaries of what can be done in a musical adapted film. The film's soundtrack somehow made the songs better than their original counterparts. From additional orchestrations to the score, and some rearrangements, they took what was already catchy about those songs and enhanced them to make them feel more current. I really like the updated version of Dancing Through Life. It was catchy and makes you want to get up and dance. Plus, the whole number made use of the cinematography and the physical sets. It was all paired beautifully with the song and choreography. What Is This Feeling also made use of the cinematography and physical sets, and also the editing. The choreography along with the extra vocals and arrangements made this number feel much larger than the stage version. I really like how the choreography throughout the number utilizes the props. It just worked, and it made the film feel like a true musical. Other standouts include Popular and Defying Gravity, which I have talked about earlier, and The Wizard and I, which is one of my personal favorites. Cynthia's voice in the song was just powerful, like a true Broadway powerhouse. One Short Day definitely saw the most improvement. That entire number took advantage of everything. The cinematography, the sets, and additional arrangements. Everything in this sequence felt 10 times bigger and elaborate. It was spectacular. And the endless cameos were just the icing on the cake. The cameos of both Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, the original Elphaba and Glinda on Broadway, is what made this spectacle even better. Seeing those two with Cynthia and Ariana, the current Elphaba and Glinda, was just a sweet moment that feels generational. And honestly, a full circle moment. It's amazing how, despite not being tied directly to 1939's The Wizard of Oz, this film did so much to honor the legacy of this timeless classic. I like how the font for the logo at the beginning and end credits was the same font that was used in the opening credits for the 1939 film. The callbacks got even better when a nod to the ruby slippers was added during the Popular sequence. It makes this film not only an adaptation of the Broadway show, but a tribute to the 1939 classic. Overall, it kept the spirit of the original while also adding new elements to push the story forward. It did a great job in honoring both the stage show and the 1939 film. This is a musical that was made to be adapted to the screen, and the end result was just pure cinema. Whether you're a fan of Wicked, The Wizard of Oz, or just musicals in general, this film is for you. Alright, that sums up all of my final thoughts I have for this film, and if you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already subscribed, that would really mean a lot. And be sure to be on the lookout for my review of Wicked for Good coming out sometime in the near future. But for now, that's all I have to say, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!